The workers of Liverpool and Merseyside have demonstrated by their action that they give full and unqualified support to the Liverpool City Council in its struggle to defend jobs and services.
Even before Labour came to power in Liverpool in 1983, there were ominous forebodings for the city in the form of leaked Whitehall memoranda. In 1981, Geoffrey Howe, then Conservative Chancellor of the Exchequer, used the term managed decline to describe the government's attitude towards Merseyside. It suggested that the government would play an instrumental role in this decline, and economic strangulation was thought to be the most efficient and convincing method of killing off the influence of Merseyside. An attritional approach would have all the outward signs of a natural decline in an area's former industrial prominence.
If I look back in the earlier days, in the 1930s and 1920s, I think a lot of councils in those days made remarkable achievements in the way of municipal socialism and led the way against all odds in those days. And people like Lansbury had remarkable achievements, and I wouldn't like to say anything against what they did. But what I do say is that this council, against all the odds and against all the opposition, attempted to make and preserve municipal socialism in the city.
George Lansbury, leader of the surcharged and imprisoned popular councillors of 1921, and later leader of the Labour Party, had a guiding principle for socialists in office, which could easily have been the Liverpool councillors' motto. And although they were never short of eloquent speakers, what characterised the Liverpool model was its ability to deliver the goods, to do after the elections what it promised to do before the elections.
We've attempted on a local level to translate the language of socialism into the language of housing, into the language of jobs, into the language of services, into the language of apprenticeships, and all of the other things which people require to live a decent life. That, in essence, is what socialism is about. If socialism doesn't achieve that, then there's not much point in replacing capitalism with socialism. Obviously, we recognise that it's not possible to create an island of socialism within the sphere of capitalism. But nevertheless, in Liverpool, what we've succeeded in doing is demonstrating that where there's a political will, that achievements can in fact be made.
The face of the city was undoubtedly changing. Slum terraces, ill-fated estates and tower blocks were being demolished everywhere to make way for decent homes and sports centres, parks, nurseries, and new schools formed on a community basis. But the industrial infrastructure was in continuing decline, and the social
World War, the problems of the port become clear. During the Depression of the 30s, it slipped a bit further. But in many ways, the real problem is, after the war, we had a brief period we thought we'd pick up. We had a lot of car industries coming to Merseyside in the 50s and 60s. But really, late 60s, early 70s, the recession, the international recession, really, I think, tightened the screw on Liverpool's economic decline, and so make a stand.
Better to break the law than to break the poor was more than a slogan. It was ultimately the only principled stand that could possibly win extra resources from the government.
The paradox is that when it was a clear struggle between the council and the Tory government, with the enormous odds raised against the movement in Liverpool, morale was tremendously high. What we saw was demonstrations of 50, 60, 70,000 marching through the streets of Liverpool in that conflict with the Tory government. What we've succeeded in doing is demonstrating that where there's a political will, that achievements can in fact be made. What's also been clearly revealed is that under capitalist society, if you secure those achievements, you come into conflict with the whole economic and social system which dominates this country. Hence, we came into conflict with the Tory government, came into conflict with the Public Works Loan Board, which made certain demands that we made certain cuts before they keep the cash flowing. So inevitably, any local authority which seeks to carry out its social commitment will run into a direct conflict with the power of their capitalist society, because frankly there is no choice. It's either fight or go down.
But Mrs. Thatcher